he kind of did this embrace of Christianity. That's what they always do, right?
Don't they? Where's Russell Brand when you need him?
He's like, yeah,
where's Jonathan Majors when you need him?
Oh, now that's another one.
And the prosecution had to literally show that Meta
Facebook
knew what they were doing.
Oh,
like
yes.
that's the only way you get this kind of a ruling.
Yes,
You
yes.
knew and you still did the shit.
And you
right?
did nothing. I went Instagram official with my partner, and people were like, real happy for you. Remember your white husband? Yeah, I remember. Why are you bringing him up?
Let me fix it.
Welcome back to Let Me Fix It, the podcast that says it's Wednesday, and you still haven't sent us a tagline. What are you doing?
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
And listen, and she has turquoise on her eyes. Is that turquoise? Turquoise.
Yeah, I guess so. It's a teal. I'm Francesca Ramsey. I'm an actress. I'm a writer. I'm a producer. I'm a social strategist and a comedian.
And I'm DeLon Grant. I'm an actor, a singer, writer, photographer, and an educator. Class, send us those taglines. You know what we say every week. Let me fix it. Let me fix it at gmail.com. Let me fix it pod.
Yes. Yeah. You
every
do. You
week
know what we say?
Let me fix it's a lot. Let me fix it pod at gmail.com or at fix it pod on social media. We know we want to hear from you. Speaking of hearing from you,
yes.
I just have to give a shout out to Gaetan and I can't remember if it's Jeanette or Janet, which put a pin in Jeanette or Janet. Gaetan came to see me in my show that just closed. I was doing Midsummer Night's Dream on in Commonwealth Shakespeare is the company, but on the Boston Common. And after the show, they both came up to me and they were like, "Hey, we love the podcast. We love you and Francesca." Gaetan is a budding actor who didn't think I would remember her name. See, I told you I would remember your name.
Yeah, it's a beautiful name,
isn't it? And she was like, "You're not gonna remember." And she's like, we had a whole kind of artist way talk right after my show. I was like, "No, listen." I was like, "You want to do it, right?" I was like, "There's no reason not to do it. You've done it before. You're a thespian. Do it." So encourage class if you can shout out Gaetan in the comments to give them some encouragement. The Jeanette or Janet thing. Forgive me, Jeanette or Janet, which one of it is.
That's your name now, also. That's your full name now.
I have an aunt Jeanette, and I've heard of Janet's, but have you heard of a Black Janet? I know Black Janettes. I don't know a Black Janet.
Now that you say it, I don't know a Black Janet.
If you are a Black Janet, let us know.
If you are a Black Janet, come to the front.
But Janet Jackson, that's a Black Janet, though, right?
That's true. That's true. Wow.
So I can't remember.
How did we forget that one?
Right.
Well, maybe that's it. There's only one Black Janet. Now the list is closed. No one else is allowed.
I'm 40. I have to put on my air conditioning. I forgot in this room. 1 second.
Oh, please. You're actually 43. You shaved a few years off of that. You're actually 43. And you celebrated a birthday.
I did celebrate a birthday. Thank you for the birthday wishes, class. Thank you for the suggestions on what to do for my birthday.
Yes.
What
did you end up doing?
I got lunch with a friend. I had some work stuff to do, some voiceover work, and my show that I was in.
Casual.
But then we out here 17 jobs.
Yeah.
But then I gathered my cast and I was like, hey, they want to go grab a drink. And some friends from Boston came out. It was very simple, very chill. Yeah. But I kind of count my bike. My bike was the big thing that I did for myself. And that is getting me around the city. I love it.
Oh my gosh.
But thank you, class.
Amazing. Well, if you are new here, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We have new episodes every Wednesday and also on Sundays. There's also a live chat at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Hello, live chat.
Hey.
Let's jump into some headlines. Again, for anyone that's new here, we don't talk about these headlines beforehand, which I think is kind of the fun of the conversation.
That's the secret sauce.
It really is.
Sometimes it pops, and sometimes we're like, "Ooh, we're not on the same page."
And then the class has to pick sides, and they pick mine
every time. Actually, one or two people are like, "Well, yeah, they're on my side."
A few times they've eaten me up. All right, DeLon, I'm going to kick it over to you. What's your headline this week?
So, Fran, I'm sure you heard about this, class. Do you know Mark Zuckerberg and Meta have been ordered to pay almost $1 billion?
No.
After a judge in New Mexico ruled that Facebook and Instagram created a public nuisance by harming children and failing to protect youngsters. So let's talk about this money to start, okay?
Wow.
So they're ordered to pay $942 million.
Wow.
$560 million is mandated for new remediation. So $420 million are for clinical and behavioral health treatment programs for youth.
Okay.
Talk about
fixing it. What a fix? That's a fix.
Okay.
Yes.
And the rest will pay for awareness programs, screening services, and other support over the next 5 years. $375 million for civil penalties for violating New Mexico's consumer protection laws.
Wow.
So there's this thing called the Social Media Victims Law Center, which I didn't even know existed. I'm glad that this exists.
Yes.
I'm just going to run through just some of their points for context so that we have a little bit more to discuss with when it comes to the headline. So on their website, they say this ruling didn't come out of nowhere. Back in March, a jury found that Meta violated New Mexico's consumer protection law over 75,000 times.
Yes.
75,000 times. The jury said that Meta misrepresented how safe its platforms for youngsters were and ordered the company to pay the $375 million. The second ruling picks up where the first one left off. The court found that Meta used design features like endless scrolling, autoplay, constant notifications to keep kids hooked, and us, and adults already.
Yes,
because I'd be doing it too.
Mm-hmm.
According to the court, these features are linked to higher rates of depression, anxiety, self-harm, eating disorders, and suicide risk among young people. Now, remember, I just want to point out just like how the law works. I know, we all know how the law works, but what stuck to me was like, so to get this ruling, right?
Yes.
The prosecution had to literally show that Meta
Facebook
knew what they were doing.
Oh,
like
yes.
that's the only way you get this kind of a ruling.
Yes.
You
Yes.
knew and you still did the shit.
And you
right?
did nothing.
So one of the most frustrating parts of this, according to this Social Media Law Center, is that Meta didn't need a court order to know how to do it. The safety changes the judge is now requiring are the same changes Meta's own internal safety teams had already recommended.
Well,
years
I told
before
you
the ruling.
Well, Delon, didn't I tell you I read that book, Careless People, which was by a Facebook whistleblower who is currently in a wrongful termination lawsuit with Facebook. And class, this book is fascinating. And basically, she talks about how she was like one of the first international policy advisors. She used to work for the UN, and she like watched Facebook come up, and she was like, wow, this is super powerful. I want to work there. And over the course of the book, she details, which you kind of have to take with a grain of salt, because she essentially says the whole time I was there, I was raising these red flags and no one listened to me. But again, the grain of salt is I'm like, but you stayed. Like, you kept your job.
Because that money was cute.
Because the money was good. She was like, guys, well, no one's listening to me. I guess I'm going to go back to work.
She's like, I'm going to go to this free cafeteria right quick and write an email.
The whole book is like, I was the only one. And I'm like, okay, maybe. Right. But to your point, she does talk about a number of times, whether it be election interference, whether it be
Cambridge Analytica. Remember that? They sold our data to Cambridge Analytica. Yep.
And there was a case of a young woman who took her life, and her parents sued Facebook, and they had these internal conversations about the way that the platform, because again, we know this happens all the time, right, Dawn, where you're talking about something and then suddenly Instagram is showing it to you.
Eerie.
Listen,
guys, I told you about this bike, this electric bike I wanted to buy. I've been talking about it for a minute. I literally screamed to my phone the other day, I have a bike. I said, I have a bike. Stop.
I need $1 million. I need to be rich.
If you don't leave me alone, damn.
It never listens to the good stuff.
Right.
But essentially, it's always listening. And it talked about how it not just listening to us as we talk, but it also is listening to our DMs and our comments.
Jesus
and
Christ.
It was using the information that this young girl was saying to her friends and what she was liking and what she was looking at, these sites that are these pages that were about self-harm, for example. And, her parents alleged in this lawsuit, which Facebook then settled, that Facebook made it or compounded the feelings that she was having and aided in her mental distress. Well, so you're right. They no.
Because also if you, I mean, I'm not this girl's family, obviously, so I wasn't
Right.
there, but I can imagine just based on the lawsuit and based on our own experience with social media, because it is so addictive and it does keep you on the, if that's the thing you're mainly engaging with when you're upset, when you're happy, when you're feeling a feeling, then it's going to metastasize how you already feel, right? It's going to make you feel it more deeply. And this is somebody else speaking through me. I know sometimes I sound like an anti-capitalist on here. I'm full on capitalist. I know it's a contradictory, but that's a system we live in. You've heard me say it on the podcast before. But there's somebody has said, like, there's no billionaire that doesn't exploit somebody to become a billionaire.
You have
That's
the
how
only way.
It's your employees via labor.
Yes.
It's skimping. You know, what is where they're, you know, you buy a bag of chips now and it's half the thing that you used to buy.
Yes, shrinkflation. Yes, or wage theft, which we learned about when we had Marissa on the podcast.
Yes, it's insane. So they're criminals. The last thing I want to say on this is also on this Social Media Law Center's website, which I think is kind of the next layer of this, which I really hadn't thought about when it comes to Facebook, but I know that they're engaging in AI in a lot of ways. All these companies are. So the ruling also addressed Meta's AI chatbots. The judge also ordered Meta to stop children in Mexico from having romantic or sexual relationships with its AI chatbots.
Yeah, they get sexual immediately. They go sexual immediately.
This is just crazy. I mean, I don't have no kids. I have
Why
two nephews.
Why are they programmed this way?
It's crazy to me.
They shouldn't be able to say anything sexual.
I mean, give me some leeway here. Let's take the children out of it for the love of God.
Yes.
Take the children out of it for a second. I don't want to. You don't engage a sex chat bot with me. What are you talking about? That's crazy. So
the loneliness epidemic.
And the last part of this is adults in New Mexico were also banned from using Meta's chatbots to simulate discussions or sexual conversations involving children, because that's obviously because we have a lot of pedophiles in this country, in the world.
Yes.
And obviously, why are they not going to use it to hide behind a mask to engage with children sexually? It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
I mean, it is so disgusting and dystopian. And, you know, every single time these conversations come up, there is a discussion around we should leave these platforms. And it really feels like we're between a rock and a hard place, and
1000%.
that they have this monopoly, right? Where Instagram used to just be a place that you posted photos, but like now it's a place that you get work. You meet somebody at an event and they say, "Can I get your Instagram? Let's stay in touch," right?
A date. Or even like, I mean, as an actor, I can't tell you how many times I've filled out an audition form. How many Instagram followers? How many social media followers do you have?
WhatsApp. If you have family in another country, you use WhatsApp. That is a Meta platform, right?
Well, and somebody's, I forget what TikToker said this, that I was like, damn, that's so real. Because now Apple is starting to flirt with the idea of making Siri a paywall, right? So
good. I don't use that bitch. I wish she would shut the fuck up.
I just
hey, were you talking? No, I was not talking to you, Siri. Shut up.
I just told her. I said, girl, put on Do Not Disturb. I said, girl, hey, I use her all the time.
Well, you know what's so funny?
But if you're a frequent user, they're going to try to put it behind a paywall. But first they get you addicted. First they make it an integral part of your life and then make you pay for it. It's fucking nuts.
And I shared our episode of the pod with Kelechi where we did Dream, and there's a moment in the pod where your Siri starts talking to you.
That is so funny. That's totally right. All right, friend, what's your headline for today?
All right. Well, there's been a big discussion after Perez Hilton exhibited some self-harm on TikTok Live. Delon, you heard about this?
I mean, for a minute, a few days, it was on. You couldn't not see it.
It was, thank goodness I didn't see it. But what I wanted to talk about was this actor, Jared Padalecki, I think is how you say his name, from Supernatural. He had tweeted out some well wishes to Perez Hilton amidst the hospitalization, and his fans were eating him up. They were like, do you know Perez Hilton's history?
Legit.
And I thought this was really interesting because this is one of those many things can be true. And we talk about this a lot on the pod, whether it was Lindsey Graham or Mitch McConnell, who I still don't think is alive. I don't think
he is. I mean, I say this in jest, but I really do think he's dead.
Weekend at Mitch's. Like,
that proof of life photo was crazy
AI,
weird.
not
AI.
real. But every single time, you know, a controversial, a hateful, a Charlie Kirk, right, passes away, suddenly it turns into, you know, he was a father. We need to eulogize him.
I mean, we fought in the Senate, but we had lunch later.
But, you know, he was my friend and, you know, whatever. And so similarly, this is the conversation around Perez Hilton. And class, some of y'all might be, you know, fresh out the womb and not remember who Perez Hilton was in the 2000s.
He was an internet terror.
But he was a terror. And so last week, you know, like as we alluded to, he had what we can only describe as a mental health episode, really scary stuff, where he was harming himself and it was bloody. And, you know, his family has put out a statement saying that thankfully they were able to get his 3 children out of the house, which is wild. And now they've, you know, he is in serious but stable condition, and they've asked for privacy at this time. And a number of people have brought up the irony of this is a man who built his entire career off of terrorizing celebrities. When Heath Ledger died, he put up a thing saying, why couldn't it have been Britney? And he had t-shirts. He ripped her apart when she was going through her mental health crisis.
Yeah.
He, you know, and again, this is
Lindsay
one of those.
Lohan was another one of his punching bags when she was going through all of her stuff as a young adult and a teen trying to figure out being arrested and drugs and all of that stuff.
Tallulah Willis, one of Bruce Willis's daughter, he always made fun of her face, you know, and talked about the shape of her head, and you know, he would draw dicks on people's children.
That's right.
And so again, this sort of this conversation around, well, people being like, I don't give a fuck about him.
Right.
And other people saying like, well, we should pray for him and whatever. And I'm of the mind, I don't want to stoop to Perez Hilton's level.
Right.
But I don't think just because you have had a mental health episode that it erases all the things that you've done. Because he can, you know, I believe he has said some things about how he kind of did this embrace of Christianity. That's what they always do, right?
Don't they? Where's Russell Brand when you need him?
It's like, yeah,
where's Jonathan Majors when you need him?
Okay. Now that's another one. Oh, now suddenly the Christ is within me.
Okay.
You know, so he's suddenly a super Christian and has said that he regrets and whatever. Y'all know what I'm about to say, class. Write a fucking check.
Yeah.
Because you profited. You built an entire empire on this hateful shit. And again, I do not wish him any harm. My heart goes out to his children.
Absolutely.
But if it was another celeb, he would be cashing in.
Listen to me. He would have your baby's pictures up there. He would have all your shit out there. And here's what I want to say. Here's the as I like to say, zoom out. I think the difficult part is Perez used the internet for not only money, but an audience and cachet, as we like to say, right? But the internet is wild, the wild, wild west. Anybody can say anything. So people are out here expressing what they want to on the internet, and it's not filtered. No. It is not monitored. And so we are trying to impose our moral standards on this society, dare I say, that is still just a gutter. You know? Like, it is. There are pillars that we can stand on, right?
Yes.
Our show, the news. I think one of the good and bad things is like a lot of like typical news is making its way to TikTok, making its way to YouTube because it's being the Trump administration. It's being monitored. That's a whole different conversation. The Don
Lemons, the Joy Reeds, right? Like now, independent journalism is having a moment right now.
And having a voice on the internet, which we need. At the same time, there's a lot of slop out here, you know? And so I think it's difficult
and Perez
for us.
was part of the slop.
Well, he was the OG, Christ of slop.
He was the slop master.
Okay.
You know?
But I think it's hard for us to go, hey, guys, let's rally. Let's all have a moral superiority around this thing that is sloppy and messy, you know?
Yeah, and again, he had a mental health crisis, but every person that he was hateful to, me included, because you know I had a little tussle with Perez Hilton. You know this, Delon?
I vaguely remember this, but share it with the class.
So you know, my claim to fame is I had a viral video in 2012 called "Shit White Girls Say to Black Girls." It changed my life. It, you know, started my career. And Mr. Perez Hilton stole the video, chopped off my bumper that had my name and my videographer's name on it, and posted it on his site and said, we present you shit white girls say to black girls. Now, what did I do? I emailed Perez a very nice email and I said, hey, thank you so much for posting my video, but I would really appreciate it if you take it down because you are driving traffic away from my YouTube video, which is how I make money, and you didn't even credit me. This motherfucker said, he said something to the effect of, I would think that you would see that I'm helping you. And I said, you're not helping me if my fucking name is not on my shit.
That part.
At the very least. And I was like, take my shit down. And he tried to gaslight me because there was a friend of mine that he had, shared her content a number of times on his site, but he always put her name, white girl, talented girl I'm friendly with. And he said, well, she always sees a bump when I post her. I said, yeah, and you put her name. Yeah. And you didn't put mine. And also, you didn't get
hyperlink the shit. Just hyperlink. That's all I'm asking for.
At the very least, that's what I would have been okay with. But he not only didn't put my name on it, he deliberately took my name off of it and said, we present as if it was his. And, again, I don't wish him any ill will, but he was notorious for that. He got sued for stealing photos for people, and I got called as a witness.
Oh, wow.
The lawyers reached out to me, and they said, we did some Googles, and we saw that you got into it with him. And I said, sure did. And you know what I did? I gave him the emails. I said, here you go. I keep a receipt.
Deep receipts.
He has built an empire off of being hateful to women, to children, to outing queer people. Yeah. I hate a hateful gay.
Oh, well, and that's when you first started talking about this, I was like, God, there are so many gays that hate themselves. Yes. They hate themselves. And so
jealousy.
This is why a lot of, the guy who started, the guy who just who started whatever that Christian take the gay away thing. I forget what the name of it was, but he was just arrested for trying to solicit 14-year-old boys. And I was like, see,
it's always the loudest.
Yeah. You hate yourself so much that it just spews out. Lindsey Graham, you hate yourself so much that it spews out into the community versus like doing the work. And not
Caitlyn
to give him
Jenner.
any cookies, but I do know that he said on TV shows, on talk shows, like he sees the error of his ways in the past and all of that, and doing some PR kind of not recompense necessarily, but some PR work. And fine, we all grow up, but you actually do have to answer for your actions.
Yes.
And
You've not actually atoned. You've not actually atoned. And again, and this is why I wanted to talk about this, because many things can be true. I don't believe that means he should die. But let's remember, he said that he thought that Britney Spears should die. Yeah. He used his platform to say that he thought other people should die, right? And so I'm able to extend grace to say, I don't want to see anyone harmed, especially knowing that he has children. And those are who I'm most concerned about.
Right.
But also, all of the hateful shit you've done does not go away, especially when all you've done is say, sorry. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, I just said karma's a bitch, and I want to amend that. It's when you do have such a brand that is so hateful or can be so mean for your own enjoyment or for your own gain, you don't create enough empathy for us to have for you, and there's the rub.
Yes.
It's like I can't have as much empathy as I would love to for you because of who you were and what you've done.
Yes.
Now, to your point, we don't wish him any ill, and please protect those children. You know, but it's I understand people on the internet being like, no, this is what happens.
Protect those children, and I really hope that the press is respectful of them in a way that you were never to other people's children, Perez, because you would plaster Surrey Cruz all over the site and call her a little bitch and a whore and a this and a that. And I'm of the mind children are always off limits. I don't care who your mama and your daddy is until you turn 18 and you've actually done something.
Right.
Because what was also very gross, Delon, is I said something along these lines on Threads, and I had somebody come in my comments, a black girl at that, to say that those children are probably going to grow up to be racist. And I was like, you don't know that. And they're children. And she was like, well, look at Trump's children. I'm like, those are adults.
And those are two different people.
Those are adults. We are Trump's children are adults. We are talking about children. His oldest is 13. What the
I appreciate you trying to make a deduction, madam, but it was stupid.
Just
it don't make no sense. That makes no damn sense.
She was like, you got evil parents. I'm like, do you know how many good people have had shitty parents? You don't get to pick your parents.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Or your kids,
just ready?
Just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. So again, our hearts go out to Perez Hilton, but I am tired of people asking folks to be the bigger person when it comes to a fucking hateful bigot who wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire. He would take pictures and draw a dick on you, and that would be it.
And we're allowed to say that it's a free fucking country. We're allowed to say the thing that we think and the thing that we feel, and face the repercussions as a result of it, right?
1000%.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now it's time for the fix. The show is called Lemme Fix It, and we are all about solutions here. So this is a segment where we each bring a different topic from the world or sometimes from our personal lives, and then we each pitch how we would fix it to Lon. Is it okay if I go first?
Sure.
Okay, so this is kind of related to what you were talking about with Facebook. There was recently a photo that was going viral all across the internet because a black mom, posted her fourth grader as she is preparing to go back to school. And she has this beautiful, like blondish lace front wig. I'm going to show you, I'm going to share my screen. I am going to censor this child's face because she's a child. But what essentially happened is it's gone viral with all of these blogs saying, does she look like a grown woman? As you can see here, again, I'm going to censor the child's face. They've put her next to a grown woman, and the caption says, she's starting fourth grade, and people are debating on if this hairstyle is too cute or too grown. What do you think? And so the mom has been rightfully crashing out all over the internet because she's like, all these people are talking about her child and saying crazy shit. They're saying she's a future thought and she looked like a baby mama and the girls are too fast and, just really adultifying this child. Mm-hmm. And it is so unfortunate because this is rape culture in action. A fourth grader is not grown. A hairstyle does not make a child grown. And this is this victim blaming mentality that we often see where we talk about boys being boys, but when it's a girl, is she fast and girls mature faster than boys, whatever. But also, mama, don't put your kid on the fucking internet. Stop. Everybody is chasing virality and violating their child's privacy. Again, two things can be true. It is wrong what those people are saying about your child, but she was on the internet. I saw her on Threads being like, please, can somebody help me get this taken down? It's like, you can't put the genie back in the bottle.
I don't know which one of the housewives it was. It was one of the women from Atlanta, Kendra, somebody. But I saw a little meme of her. She said, I am so tired of y'all being mad about the comments we're making on your kids' photos on social media that we did not ask for.
Yes.
We didn't ask you to put your baby's photo on or no. Covering your baby's face that we did not ask for. Yeah. Why are you share it to your close friends, send it to the family chat, send it to the group
put
chat.
It on the internet.
Why are you putting it on the internet like that?
Especially with what we know with AI. The creeps are using AI to take photos of people's children and make explicit content. Great. Now, again, it is not again, this is one of those nuanced conversations where yes, if a creep does something creepy, you cannot stop them from being creepy. What you can do is not give them material.
Yeah.
Do not put your kids. It is so frustrating to me to see how many people are essentially trying to turn their children into little celebrities and documenting every moment of their life. It's like, let kids be kids.
I mean, but that's like the allure of the internet, the allure of capitalism and the quick buck. Mm-hmm. The idea that I can become my kid can become famous or my whole family. How many TV shows on YouTube are Kate and John plus 8 that
Yes.
come to mind, right?
And one of the kids is coming out with a book.
He wrote a book because it basically is something my mother hated me. Is what
He said
saying.
that he said she was locking him in the basement.
Crazy. And you know what? I will say there's a whole documentary on another family. I think they were somewhere in Utah.
There's a bunch of them
where they were torturing those kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all these shows that we watch on YouTube,
Ruby
friends,
Frankie.
yes, there's an underbelly that we're not seeing because you're basically asking these kids to work. You're asking these kids to be public figures when they're children, and they, it's about a quick buck, and I think we need to going back to meta. Not that you can control people, but I think there need to be. If I were offering a fix, there needs to be some kind of
age restrictions
on who and for the parents as well. You cannot show your kid's face if they're not under the age of if they're under the age of 16. You know?
I agree. And that's why I said it does relate to meta because, what is known to be true, there's been a number of articles and exposés and books written about this, that a lot of these pages that are dedicated to children, where people will make a whole Instagram profile or a Facebook page for their child, the majority of the audience members are adults, grown men. Oof. Following these pages. And you can see on TikTok, for example, you can see when people save your video, you can see how many likes it gets and how many saves. There are so many children doing gymnastics and in the pool and eating things. Like there's a whole trend of like, give your baby a lemon and record the reaction. And then you see that the video has 1 million saves. Why are 1 million people saving a video of your baby eating a lemon?
I mean,
those
I will
are
say
fucking creeps.
Those are fun. They're funny videos. Now,
right, but
they're
for
funny
the creeps,
videos. But
for the
to
creeps,
your point, there's a percentage of those million that are doing it for creepy, purposes.
Yes. Those are creeps. And again,
it's a wild, wild west out here, friends. It's the wild west.
And to your point about it being funny, there are so many cute, talented kids, and the internet can open so many doors for them. I can attest to that myself. And I want kids to have those opportunities, but I also want kids to have their privacy and to be able to make that choice for themselves when they're ready. And also for parents to respect the fact that, like, you don't need to film your kids' meltdowns. You don't need to film your kid in the bathtub. You don't need to...
Ooh, stay out of the bathtub. Stay out of the bathroom with your kid, please, God.
Salon, I say it only because I've seen it.
Yeah, I will say this. We're not fortune tellers. We can't know what's going to happen to your kids in the future. But I just saw this video yesterday of this, this guy and his boyfriend. They were 18 when they started this channel together, and they loved each other, and they had virality, and they became, figures with deals and were paying their rent via TikTok, Then they broke up. And now the boyfriend hates him, and all of the audience is coming to hate him. And he made this video about it. And he was like, I just want to say, like, this is really hard to sit through. And I was 18 years old. Yeah. I didn't know. I thought I was in love, So like, even when you're an adult, you're a young adult, your brain is still not fully developed. How many times have we heard of somebody who's now going up for this job and they look at their fucking Twitter feed and they go, oh, you're a racist. And she's like, I was 14 when I said that, right? Because the internet is forever. Yeah. So like, the idea that you're putting your kid out there before they are even cognizant of what's happening. Like, I don't remember anything under the age of like 10, what I mean? Barely do. Yeah. It's not right for them. It's not right for their longevity in life or what they're going to become or what they're going to create. Back to that, I forget what the kid's name is, but from Kate and John plus 8 or whatever. Yeah. Like that poor kid, like we all know him. We all know his family. And how does he go get a job now? How does he go get it?
Well, that's why he put out a book, and as he should be able to cash in. Delon, I think you bring up such a good point about everybody has shared something on the internet as an adult where in hindsight, they're like, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. But a child doesn't have that same ability. And here, the internet is written in permanent ink, and now it's going to follow them around forever. The same way y'all love to bring up my white ex-husband. Y'all love to Delon, class. I went Instagram official with my partner, and people were like, real happy for you. Remember your white husband? Yeah, I remember. Why are you bringing him up?
In the comments, remember your white husband.
Yeah, real happy for you, girl. You look real happy. What about that white man? What's he doing?
That white man, don't
God
I can't with people. I
So,
can't.
again, sometimes we have to take that L for ourselves.
For sure.
As an adult,
that's an individual responsibility, though.
And we are adults.
Yes.
And you know what I mean? I look back and I say, okay, maybe there were some things I shouldn't have shared too soon or shouldn't have talked about that thing. But a child does not have that ability. A child cannot consent. And so I agree with you. The fix should be, unfortunately, the platforms don't have an incentive. And unfortunately, our government is run by pedophiles. So they're not going to fix it. But parents can be the change that they want to see. And I'm not a parent. I'm not a parent, but I care about kids.
Yeah.
Sue me.
And I will say, back to that, my headline, that was in New Mexico, but there are 30 other states that have similar lawsuits with Meta. And I just offer that up because these are, it's organizations usually leading the charge, but the plaintiffs, they go out finding plaintiffs who have had, unfortunately, kids affected by it, lost their children, by taking their own life, which is so fucking tragic, I wonder if there's an offering of if there's a way for some of those parents to rally around it. Remember Moms Against Drunk Driving?
Yes.
A MAD situation, rallying.
Moms Against Meta.
Moms Against Meta, or Moms About Social Media. Okay.
Yeah.
To affect some change there, because clearly, again, it's not going to be the companies. It's not going to be our administration or the federal government.
No.
It's not going to be any government. It's going to be citizens demanding it.
Yeah, and again, I do think it is a hard line to straddle in the sense that, kids want to be on social media. Your kid's a teen and they're seeing influencers and they're seeing the brand deals and all these things. And there was some article saying that the average teen wants to be a YouTuber or a TikToker as their career, because that's what they've now grown up with. So I could understand the pressure for parents to let their kids be online, but ultimately there has to be some guardrails in place, and especially when they're little ones.
Please God, I forgot what university this was, but I saw some Good Morning America clip where they had a new major at a university, and it was to be an influencer. You could study becoming an influencer, which is they did broaden it and talk about it's probably more public relations and marketing. But I was majoring in influencing.
It's so interesting, not to date myself here, but I remember back in my day when I joined YouTube in college and I was going to school for graphic design, my teachers looked at me like I was crazy. They were like, "Why are you doing this?"
Going to school for going to
when YouTube. I was making YouTube videos.
Girl, I remember you sent me that first YouTube class. She sent me this YouTube video of her doing an impression of Tyra Banks. I said, "Fred, what is this? What is this?" Fast forward 5, 10, 20 years. She had the best career because she was one of the first people doing it.
So it is kind of strange to me just to be like, wow, I feel like I've turned into the boomers that we kind of made fun of about back in my day, because I was making YouTube videos and there was no money in it, class. It was just for the love of the game. I was just like an internet kid. And a lot of people were like, what is the point of this? So to now be at a place where this could be a college course is mind-blowing to me.
Degree.
Oh, a whole degree.
Girl, it's a whole degree.
A degree feels like a stretch to me. I do think there should be some sort of social media literacy.
I can see a certificate or some kind of specialization with regard to if you're getting a PR degree or
something in media,
degree.
Right? Or something in media, but and not even just in the marketing media part of it, but also in understanding the permanence of the internet. Delon, I cannot tell you how many of the Gen Zs I see on TikTok making content about getting fired for social media, and then coming on social media to tell us they got fired.
I know.
Now, what do you think? If you got fired over a TikTok, why are you now in your car making a TikTok?
You ain't got no damn friends. Talk about loneliness. Because listen, remember what I called you when they didn't renew my contract at Jersey? When they didn't renew my contract, I was like, oh my God. I called everybody I knew.
Let me just say, we can laugh about it now, thank goodness. But Delon was blubbering, and I was like, weren't you last week just saying, I hate this fucking job. I'm over this show. I don't want to be here. And now he's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do?
I wanted to leave on my own volition. I mean, whatever. They didn't just like fire me. They just didn't renew my contract.
I know.
But I mean, you know, the line is real blurry when it in there. But I want to say, just adjacent to that, one of the proudest moments I ever had in my career is that I called, and it's germane to this conversation.
Yes.
I called you. I called my mama. I called my Kevin, who you know.
Yes.
I blubbered. And I went in there that night and I did that fucking show.
And you said,
I did that
5, 6, 7, 8. Ready, 5.
And everybody was talking about contract renewal. I did my job. I went back to that hotel. I'll never forget. I was proud of me. I didn't have to do none of that.
Yes.
Because I had a community where I could emote and then go do the work.
But germane to your point, these young people are not being taught the same level of professionalism because, again, I can understand how disorienting it is to lose your job, especially in this economy. But the lesson you should be taking away is, I don't need to put everything on social media.
Especially you got fired for social media.
Are you kidding me?
Guys, no.
The brain is not, turn it on.
Not everything is content. Not everything should be content. Not everything is potentially content, but not everything should be, right?
Yeah, and look, and take this from your Gen Z elders. You know, our audiences, not Gen Z, millennial. Oh, see, look at my brain. Take this from your millennial elders. Our audience is millennial, Gen X, you know, but we do have a few Gen Zers in the audience. And so, just being smart, I think that should be taught in the college classroom. Deleting those tweets.
Ooh.
Cleaning up some of that content. Why everybody got an N-word video? You know what I mean?
My God.
Clean
Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber.
He said one less lonely N-word. And he said, he put a little.
It still has a thriving career. I can't believe it.
I mean, it's 2 Americas. That's why.
that part.
All right, what's your fix this week?
Okay, cool. So we're talking about school recently. And this is more, I have a little bit of a add-on to this, but this is like something that's already kind of a news fix. And I just want to highlight it. So my alma mater, Fran's half alma mater, the University of Michigan, where we met.
Okay.
The University of Michigan is set to replace letter grades and adopt a pass-fail credit system for the first semester. Entering, she hates it. For the entering freshman class of 2027, and people are praising it, and they're also pissed about it.
Yeah.
So
what's the logic here?
The new policy only applies to freshmen. Here's some of the stipulations. Only applies to the freshman's first semester, 2027. The idea being that they want to help you acclimate, right? It's, you're coming to a new place, you're coming to a new academic system. It only applies to people in the College of Literature, Science, and Arts. So if you're if you're an English major, if you're kind of some general education major, that applies for those students. Pass-fail means that it won't affect your GPA, but grades are still going to be recorded so that they can, if you're on a sports team, that you're still sports eligible for scholarships, for financial aid, for honors, you still get it recorded so that they can apply those things to you, for you, but your GPA will not be affected by it. So not only is it about acclimating, but I think the other part of it is that like the pressure behind it, the pressure cooker in the capitalist system of like, I have to decide now, I have to study this thing. And how many people do we know professionally, Fran, who studied something very specific who are not doing that in their professional lives? Talk about it. Talk about it. Right?
Hello.
Exactly. Like I would venture to guess that a large proportion of American society studied something that they're not doing professionally right now. And not to say that you don't have to study what you do. But I think the idea here being is like, hey, explore, you know, take a class. Take that pottery class. You know what I mean? Take
that movement class. What do I did a movement class where we were rolling around on the ground.
Oh God, that was our in our acting. Oh God, that class was such a mess. May he rest, Jerry Schreiber. But the other thing is like there's a lot of stigma behind choosing to take a class pass fail. So if you want to take a class that isn't necessarily applied to your major, but you don't want it to affect your GPA, what you'll do is you'll go, I'm just going to take this class pass fail. But there's a little bit of like, well, why are you doing that? You have to pay. Are you paying? How much money? Why are you paying for that? Why are you doing that? So now if everybody has to do it across the board, there's no stigma attached to it. I think it evens the playing field a little bit, right?
You know, you've changed my mind.
Yeah,
I didn't.
Good.
I know you were worried about what I thought, but I
mean, it wasn't going to change my thought.
Right. No, I know.
Like,
that's why I'm joking.
Right.
I'm joking. But the more I'm listening to you, I am kind of like, oh, you know what? I kind of think this is not a bad idea.
Well, and the thing that I really appreciate about it is like, you know, I'm a Wolverine through and through, go blue. I love the school, some of the best years of my developmental years. Michigan's
like when you met me.
Well, honest to God, though, you one of the best gifts from that experience for me, right?
Same.
But like University of Michigan's always at the forefront of things. Affirmative action. I know it's dead,
yes,
you know,
yes.
but it was the first school to adopt it, the first school to see the need, the first school to push it. Yeah. And so I think this is not coming out of nowhere. I assume that the school has done some kind of research and aggregated things to
the students are feeling tremendous. Yeah.
And not only that, I will say, like, I didn't take a bunch of AP courses, but the idea that like you have to inflate your GPA to 4.2, 4.3 so that you can get into a good school. People are applying to double-digit schools now. You know what I mean? That a degree is so necessary in our society that the school is going, hey, you know what? Girl, you made it. Girl, you made it. Welcome. Yeah. Sit down.
I love that
lunch,
perspective.
Take a breath.
Yeah.
And then we'll help you develop what you need to after. But like, let's not keep you on the hamster wheel because you're going to be on it for the rest of your life, you know?
Wow, Delon, you should go into politics. I'm, you know, like we talked about having a Delon's political corner. I still think that that's a great idea because you're so good at talking about this. You really changed my perspective here because you're right. The thing I always say to students that reach out to me or when I speak at schools is I tell them like, this is the time to explore. Once you get out in the world and you got to lock it down at a job, you're not exploring anymore.
Yeah.
And so, you know, doing classes that are outside of your major and things that like you maybe only have a little bit of knowledge about, but you have more interest in should be encouraged. No matter what it is that you're studying.
Yeah.
And so, you know, giving them this freedom with the pass fail, I think is really, really beautiful. I think my first reluctance to it was what I'm sure some people, you know, class, tell us in the comments how you feel about this, is this kind of the No Child Left Behind, where there have been a lot of kids in high school who've been shuffled through the school system not on merit, but because we're trying to avoid failing kids. And so that's where my mind initially went, where I was like, okay, because you know, again, I understand the impetus of it, but it also makes me think about some people who maybe should actually have failed, who might get a pass because they're like right on the edge. But again, I think the pressure, and what I was also going to say is we've seen a lot of students talking about that's why they've turned to AI. We talked about this in our last episode with Hank Green, where they're feeling pressure of like, I need to get this grade. I need to finish this paper. And if I don't, my whole, you know, career and my life is going to fall apart. And so I'm going to cheat, you know, I'm going to turn to this thing. And so, you know, offering this space of, hey, you know, adulthood is a long journey. Your education is a long journey and you have time to figure it out. I tell students this all the time. I get messages from people that are like, what should I study? And I'm like, you can study whatever you want. Like, once you get out, nobody gives a fuck. Or people are like, oh God, it took me 6 years to graduate. Nobody cares. Yeah. You get out here and nobody is like, and now how long? Like,
you know what?
Are you
that's what
qualified?
You needed. You needed 6 years. That's what you needed. Okay. And you know what? I hope you're fine. You're better for it. And I think just like anecdotally, you know, 2 anecdotes. I got a D on my first English paper. And not that I was a great writer at the time. Like now I'm confident.
That's why.
oh, it was a D at the top of my name. He just thought I left the D off.
Wow, monogrammed papers.
Okay,
cool.
In red even. I was shocked. I was shocked. I went to the grad student instructor, and he was like, well, you can make it up, but like it took his time to go, here are the ways in which you need to shift your writing skills, right? Yes. And here's a service where you can go and get writing help, which I did. And I thank him so much for that, for allowing me to rewrite the paper for I got a B, after that. Great. I couldn't get an A, but I got a B. And that was like, the pressure of that woke me up, but it did give me anxiety of like, oh, I'm not meant to be here. I'm not that good. And instead of that, well, he gave me a lot of time and a lot of grace, but I think without the pressure to get an A or a B, because listen, I teach, these kids, you give somebody a C and they go, it's an F. And I go, no, it's average.
No, it's a C. It's a C.
But that's
how I was. I got a C when I went to design school class. I left Michigan famously. I left DeLon our sophomore year to go to design school. And I had a very similar experience where like acting, got it. Design school, they were like, here's a C. And I had a meltdown. Yes. I couldn't believe it. I had never gotten a C in my life.
Right.
And so, to hear that students are equating it with an F, I've been there.
Yeah. And I mean, again, I know a C is not average, a B is average in our world.
Right.
But like the idea that there's no pressure to worry about that. Let's just acclimate you, Not everybody comes from the same world, I didn't take AP classes. I didn't have SAT prep, I didn't have tutors, I just went through public school and
we worked. We worked.
And listen, and there were people that were better off, better than me at certain things because they had those resources, you know what I mean? So I think to even the playing field, I guess it is kind of affirmative action in a weird way. To even the playing field, they're saying, everybody come, figure out who your friends are, because you ain't got none yet.
And figure out how to get from the North Campus to main campus when it's cold and the bus class, the bus just go right past you and you're like, are you fucking kidding me?
Because it's packed full of students, because there's 40,000 students at
and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm definitely going to be late to voice class. R.I.P. Annette.
So, class, let us know in the comments what you think about this pass fail. I say this. I teach art. I teach performance, and I say this all the time. We have to figure out we have to take something that's so objective and put an objective point value on it.
Yes.
And there are ways to do that, and we figure that out. But I would love for these classes to be pass fail, because what you put in is what you get out,
Yeah.
But let us know how you feel about this.
And it is so, objective or subjective, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to say, like, your acting is bad. Like, it might not be for me, but a lot of bad actors are very famous and successful.
Well, pretty though. So pretty.
Beautiful gowns. All right. It's now time for comments from the class. DeLon, why don't you go first?
Okay, great. So this is I have two, but this is a cheeky one that I hope you laugh at. So this one is from B. They say, hi folks, I'm a faithful watcher of the podcast and follow Francesca on Threads. Please make the next show opener a supercut of Francesca asking DeLon if he minds if she goes first. I don't know why, but I always expect DeLon to look kind of annoyed. And when he does it and says yes, it honestly tickles me every single time. Keep entertaining us. But I laugh about that because you just said, we gave your headline and then you were like, okay, great, fixed. DeLon, if I go first? And I was like, I gotta hold it. So that was just like a really niche thing. So funny.
Y'all are paying attention.
Okay.
The class is taking notes.
Niche. But this other one comes from Patricia. There was a long email. I've cut this down. But Patricia says, hi, Francesca and DeLon. I've been watching your podcast for several months now. Absolutely love it. And it's been especially refreshing to hear you talk about trending news, social media topics, and have such a great dynamic together. Truly, #friendship goals. I'm a clinical social worker, professor, and certified sexuality educator. And I'm so excited that I found your podcast, as I've also been following Francesca for many years, going back to MTV's Dakota days. I've made it a point to include your content in my social work and psychology psychology classes, as well as in my work as a DEI trainer with clinical staff. I bring this up. This is me speaking. I bring this up because you made a pitch a few episodes ago. Hey, class, if you have a book, if you have a thing coming out, send up. So Patricia's talking about this. Class Superlative. So Patricia goes on to say, what I wanted to share is that I recently published a young adult novel called Simply Platonish, which sounds, is that cool?
That sounds so, let me fix it.
Fran loves a pun. That's a portmanteau.
Yeah, Platonish.
Platonish, kind of, sort of.
Yeah,
It's called Simply Platonish. It explores the experiences of a Black woman who is first-generation student at a primarily white institution. We understand, navigating race and gender dynamics and the blurry line between friendship and romance. It is funny, quirky, and while it is not strictly academic, readers may still learn a thing or two. So Simply Platonish is on Amazon. Not that we're out here, supporting Amazon like crazy, but it is where it is.
And you know what we will do? We will link it in the description box so people can check it out.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing your work with us. That sounds fascinating. I hope there's an audiobook. Francesca loves an audiobook.
Oh, yes, please.
So yes, please send us your class superlatives. We love celebrating all of the smart and hardworking classmates.
And thank you for your email, Patricia.
Yeah. All right. Mine comes from Ken O'Toole. And this is on last week's episode where, Delon, you were talking about the AI agents in the classroom. It says, to me, the scary thing about the AI teachers or even teachers' assistants in classrooms is that the AI is being trained on stuff real teachers have done. But real teachers have prejudices, and this is a problem with AI models in general. But the AI is trained on all the prejudicial crap from the past and the current. Real teachers are still treating certain kids as problem kids or lazy kids or aggressive kids. There was a teacher a while ago in New Mexico that cut hair off of a native girl's long braid and said a slur to another native girl in that class. The teacher was fired. But my concern with replacing real people is you can't discipline AI.
Ooh.
You can't fire AI. This is such a good point.
Great point.
That I hadn't thought about. That technology is not neutral. It is biased.
Because we are biased and we've trained it.
Right. And who making it? A bunch of white dudes. That's why it can take people's clothes off and starts talking about sex immediately. You ever match with a man on a dating app? He's like, what that mouth do? What? I just met you. I don't.
No,
what are you up to?
I'd be like, it's typical.
But also proving my point.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
A man is a man.
A man is a man. So, if the chat bots are programmed by people, again, such a good point.
Yeah.
I think, and again, we've talked about this before. We're like, AI is here. I don't want to engage with it. I'm really annoyed at how much it's been being pushed on us. Like every app, every website, it's like, if you want to use it, go for it. But like, why are you pushing it on me all the time? But I do think that there is a conversation to be had about who are the decision makers and that we need people advocating, because if these things are going to be around, right? Again, I hope the bubble is going to burst soon. But if AI is being used for example, I saw a lot of people who are visually impaired using Meta glasses.
Wow.
And I was like, you know what? I kind of think that's cool. And I think maybe that could be something that we should explore, right? Like, I don't want creeps taking pictures of me, but if somebody needs this as an assistive device, this could be really positive. I think that means that there should be some disabled people in the room.
Yes.
And making sure that some things that maybe an able-bodied or a visual, someone who can see is not going to think about, right? And so this idea that these bots are going to have the biases of teachers, because teachers are people, they are not infallible,
Well, and I think you said this in that conversation last week. They start hallucinating these AI bots. So like, where's the line between them, helping you with a calculus thing and then making up some algebra that doesn't exist? You know what I mean?
And teaching you something incorrectly.
Right. And I think there's a lot of room for that too. We need to, to your point, I think the AI bubble is going to burst, but interestingly enough, it has more to do with the fact that it's not making money.
Yes, that's why.
Which we're in trouble. Just a little anecdote. The Ukraine war is still happening, and a lot of that is being fought on Ukraine side with drones, right? With drones that drones that are being operated by people in Ukraine going over to Russia. But they just had a fully automated amphibious machine that went through the water and into Russia and sent drones and attacked Russia. Now, I am team Ukraine because Russia started it. Russia invaded Ukraine and is trying to annex that whole country. But I did watch this video and go, oh, that's the beginning of the end. I've said that many times, but like the idea that you have fully automated, autonomous.
Yeah. I don't like it.
AI machines that are going.
It's the trolley thing. It's the trolley thing, right? Where it's going to say, which one should I bomb? Whose lives are more valuable? And I don't, again, to your earlier point about, yes, I support Ukraine in the sense that like Russia has been terrible to them, but like ultimately people are being killed on both sides that have nothing to do with it.
Absolutely.
That are like, I'm just trying to go to school. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and so now a robot is saying, well, we can afford to bomb this coordinate. It's wild. I don't like it.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy, y'all. Class, thank you again. Let me fixitpod@gmail.com or on social media @fixitpod. We know, we want to hear your taglines, but also get in our inbox. There are some other people that have sent books and stuff. We're looking through it as we go. So stay tuned. I'm sure you'll pop up on the pod as well. Go ahead, please.
And now it's time for everyone's favorite segment, The Glow Up, where we give props to those who've turned themselves around without our help. Delon, you may go first.
Because she's a comedic genius. She had to.
I said, you're not going to catch me slipping.
Hilarious. Okay, so mine goes to the fired staff of 60 Minutes. Have you heard about any of this, Fran?
No.
So a little bit of context. So in 2004, 60 Minutes was acquired by CBS, or CBS's parent company, Paramount Global, was bought by Skydance, which is owned by David Ellison, the MAGA-friendly his dad is Larry Ellison, who's Trump's billionaire best friend. And Larry Ellison, who has, Larry Ellison owns a billionaire company, and he bought this company for his son. They put Barry Weiss, this former New York Times opinion journalist, in charge of CBS, and the ratings have, under the water.
Tanked.
It's blown up. But she blew up 60 Minutes in particular. One of the first things we heard about was a controversial move where Weiss pulled a story about the Trump administration's human rights abuses and torture of Venezuelan detainees in El Salvador. One of the correspondents, Sharon Alfonsi, who's been there for 11 years, a 60 Minutes veteran. She helped create the story, and Weiss killed it, and then her contract was not renewed. Most recently, Scott Pelley, who was a 20-year veteran of the program, he was recently fired for pushing back on Weiss and some other stuff that she was trying to do, and another executive producer. Anderson Cooper has resigned from the program.
Wow.
Right?
Good for Anderson.
But
that's my guy.
A bunch of these people are rumored to have been shopping around a version of the show, including other executive producers that were fired, to streaming platforms to compete with CBS's 60 Minutes.
I love this.
And I think that is a powerful way to not only still have a job, but to keep the program in our minds, and also to push back on what is happening. It's like a takeover, right? The thing that I was stumbling on over here is that Viktor Orban, who was the former president of Ukraine, now the ousted president of Ukraine, he had a takeover of the media in that country. So it was all state-run media. Larry Ellison and
that's
Trump
what they're trying to do here.
Are trying to do that. And this was their first foray. This was their first move with CBS. And it's not working very well. So I think pushing back in this way is really smart. So I'm all the wind behind your sails, former correspondents of CBS and executive producers. I hope it works out for y'all.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, talk about fixing it yourself, right?
Okay.
Where it's like, okay, you fired us. Guess what? There are many fish in the sea. So yes. All right.
What's your glow up?
My glow up, I have a picture to share. My glow up goes to my guy Flex, who people have been requesting more Flex content. If you're new here, class, this is my rescue pup that I got during the pandemic. Flex's little eyes are out of service. And so when we go
Is he fully
outside,
blind?
no, he can still see. It's just like when we go outside, the sun really bothers him. And you can see him kind of like wincing. He's like, ooh, ooh, like that. And so I got him these sunglasses. And, you know, on the downside, Flex looks like he was at January 6th. On the
He said, "My chérie amor."
He said, "Speak American. Why are you in this country?" He looks like a bigot. But
Stevie Wonder.
On the positive side, Flex is outside happy as a little clam.
Good.
He tries to take the sunglasses off, but it really has turned things around for him. It has really made our walks more pleasurable. And man, my little guy he's just really getting old. Class, he's losing his hearing too. And so I'm calling him and he's like, I know she out here, but where is she? And I'm like, Flex. So.
And what's crazy to me, Fran, is I'm sure this has like been somewhat incremental for you, just because like he's your dog. He's probably right in front of you right now.
He's asleep on the couch.
But like, it seems to be happening pretty quickly on my end. Like, you're like, hey,
so fast.
He had this thing. Hey, he had that thing. Now he's a little deaf. Now he's a little blind. I'm like, damn, what is? It's happening so quickly.
I took him to the vet. And the vet was like, well, you know, because he's a senior dog. I said, what? He's not a senior. They said, yes, he is. Have you noticed he can't see at night? And I was like, what are you talking about? He can see at night. And then like literally that night, he walked into a planter. And I was like, oh God, he can't see at night. I was like, oh shit.
Isn't it so fucked up how that happens? Sorry to make it about me, but there was a penultimate show of this performance I was doing. I was doing fine. I was singing. I'm singing in the show, all this Shakespearean text on my voice. And a colleague, someone I know, that was like, oh my God, great work in the show. She's like, is your voice tired? And I was like, oh, no, it's not tired, but okay, whatever. The very next day,
you said, ooh,
let me get some tea. It's crazy how they put that in your universe and this shit just happens. That's so funny.
Literally what happened. I was so annoyed that doctor, I was like, I'm going to write a letter. I'm going to go on Yelp. And then literally that night, I was like, oh no. Yeah, his eyesight is, so at night, I used to like let him off without his leash in the building because like our building is enclosed. It's not like, you know, you're not on the street. Can't do that anymore.
Wow.
Can't do that anymore. He'd be running into stuff and I just feel so terrible for him. But you know, he has his little sunglasses on. And the funniest thing about Flex losing his eyesight, you know, he used to be a little dick. He can't get in fights anymore. Can't see anybody. He'd be like, oh shit, there's a big dog here. Hey, what's up, bro? You know, he used to have an attitude. Be real friendly now.
Wow, right. That's what happens in your old age.
He's like, I'm just not going to fight anymore. Dogs are sniffing him and he's like, whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. So that's my guy's glow up. He's still hanging strong. We're very proud of him with his little January 6th glasses.
It's so funny.
Class, this has been a fantabulous episode.
It really has.
We're getting back to a little truncated episode because we are both busier than hell. But don't forget, we also have episodes on Sundays, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. You can also email us, lemmefixitpod@gmail.com, if there is a TV show or a movie that you want us to review in an upcoming episode, or maybe on our Sunday matinee sessions, or send us a voice note with the tagline and we might include you in the show.
And if you're new here, welcome. Like Fran said a little bit earlier, new episodes every Wednesday for our main episodes. Then we have our Sunday episodes. Hit subscribe if you like what you're seeing. And then hit notifications so you can know when to join that live chat because it is very active live. And for those who are here all the time, every week, we know we love you. Thank you for being here. I'm Delon.
I'm Francesca. And this was Lemme. Let me fix it. Okay, you were a little flat.